Well, good afternoon, good evening. It's a February 10th. This is an extremely auspicious day. I know it was a last minute call either to do the Feng Shui Connect this month or not. And I pulled the trigger on the last minute and I said, no, I should better do it because it is a very auspicious day. It should be bringing a lot of productivity. And there I am. So my name is Aelita Lito. I'm a Feng Shui practitioner. Been practicing classical Feng Shui, Ziva Doshu astrology, interior design, implementation, teaching, traveling, you name it. That's me here in Los Gatos, Bay Area. Well, today's subject is about the Chinese New Year, and specifically talking about the young water tiger year. You see, I'm moving forward, and even though I had quite a few talks in the last 2 days, I'm starting losing my voice, but that's never matter. Today's presentation, what I'll be sharing about the auspice for this year, as well as very briefly, we'll touch bases where does the auspice and how to look at this year, the rhythms of the year. And I leave last 15 minutes after the presentation, I will leave for the questions, answers, discussing any charts, looking at the charts. I'm all yours until 6, as you wish. So there we go, and let's begin. And I'll share my screen very quickly. Okay. Share presentation. Gosh, I thought my presentation was right there. It was not. Now you see it. Now you see Chinese New Year, tiger. Okay, we'll edit this out when we need it. Ta-da! It's loading up. Be patient. All right, can you see my screen? If one of you shows this thumbs up, it's great. Awesome, thank you. All right, well, Chinese New Year started on April, sorry. No, it didn't start it on April. I'm thinking about April. That's for me, the April really going to be the good energy. But before we even start, just a couple of weeks ago, Aviana, my daughter, my 10-year-old, 9-year-old still, but acts like a 15-year-old, came up with a question. What do you get when you cross a snowman and a tiger? Any guesses? So the answer is on the bottom. You get the frostbite. Very, very appropriate just for the Chinese New Year, right? When we talk about, just a quick reminder, when we talk about classical Feng Shui, we always consider, we're talking about the human qi, and that's your astrology based on your date and time of birth. We also discuss the earth qi. Earth qi depends on the physical environment, not only interior environment of how the home flows or how your business office or but it's also in regards to your neighborhood, to the country, to the, in a more expansive area. And heaven qi is a cyclical appearance of the seasons and time. So not just by clock or like linear, but it's like observing the quality of qi, how it moves. And we are continuously, we are adapting. No matter what, we are changing within. Our physical environment, either we're aware of not or not, is changing. And we are in continuous adaptation mode. So just remember, bear with that. And today, specifically, we're going to be talking about Chinese astrology, and it is related not only to our kind of human qi, but it also could be a really, really beautiful way to express how the cyclical reappearance through the heaven energy and earth qi, we can see the actual, noticing the patterns, observing the nature, absorbing the flow in itself. A very important aspect is to look through the eyes of the 5 elements. And this class is not, or this presentation is not about, truly going through all the 5 element set, but is two elements that I want to point out is the wood chi, wood element, and the water chi. Okay, in the cycle of this is one of the first years when the inner element of the tiger, which is the wood chi, and it is the external like water tiger year. There's a complementing there is the complementing in based on the element support system. The water element is very important. It's a young water tiger year. And when we think about it, it's a direct experience of invisible and expressible forces. I want to kind of keep in mind, this is more about your metaphysical, your spirituality, your dream state, your non-tangible, your something that you are wish for. Where the wood element in a lot of ways correlates to refreshness, renewal. You know, it's almost like a spring right now when we have these naive flowers are coming out and bursting and giving the promise that the spring or the summer is going to come, and it's just very inviting and just gives that a little bit of the ease. Of course, it's harder to believe it when you are in California, but I can say this could be very inspiring when you are somewhere in a very harsh environment. Like I know that like in Bhutan right now, it snows like crazy. One of the examples, and I think is where the art of like even the art, when you think about going back to the nomadic lifestyle, 10,000 years ago, when I think about young water energy or young water chi, I personally, how to maximize, like how to correlate to something that is so significant. And one thing as example comes in mind in my practice, and I hope it's also kind of inspires you to think about differently about young water energy. It's not about oceans as much. It's not about harsh rivers. I correlate to something like the largest fresh water source, which is a Lake Baikal, which is one of the largest and oldest, like 20 million years. It's deepest, 1,600 plus meters deep, the world's lake. It holds 1/3 of the all world's fresh water containing that's available at any time of the day. So when I start thinking that this one lake has as a fresh water that can support the whole world, to me, that is a young water chi. It's not the ocean, because when we are at the ocean, we can't really drink the water. But the fresh water is very significant. That's why also in when I think about Feng Shui in Chinese philosophy is of water, right? And it's a lowest point. It's a very adapted point. The way it's going to kind of funnels through the water element itself, it kind of cyclically reappears as well when we think about how it evaporates, becomes then the clouds, then it snows over the mountains and melts down, becomes the river and gets collected. So there's just, it's the way the water could embody so many states and stages, from the steam to frozen state. It's also, it carries energy, carries information. And specifically Lake Baikal, based on my teacher Ming, used to tell the stories. If we go back to the nomadic lifestyle, probably Lake Baikal was one of those points when during the springtime, during this spring festival time, which is right now in Chinese culture especially, is when the tribes, after the surviving the winter, would come together. That's when they would be carrying their ancestry or the ones who passed through the winter to come to this place nearby the Lake Baikal to create the burial sites. And also that's where they would mate and they would reconnect and it was celebrate, because nothing was, really, there was not about digging or hurting the land. It was more about, as a based on the nomads, it's about like how we reconnect to the springtime exchange and then disperse again and meet the following year. The culture in this point where the Lake Baikal is very, very strong and still holds the shamanic the Mongolian border and between the Irkutsk and Baikal, that area that it's definitely still imposes the, I guess, a strong feng shui element, but that's where probably was the birthplace or timeliness for any of the mantic arts what we're practicing now and or relating to what we're now doing, calling the feng shui. When we talk about the wood qi, the wood energy, many clients, as you know, and this is, I hope you'll learn from it, is wood energy is not when you made something from wood. How many times I have come to people's homes and say, oh, look, I said, you need some wood qi. And they says, well, look, I have a table made of wood. It's like, well, if it's not sprouting, that's not wood qi, unless you just, unless it's just being a new purchase and it's you are just, acquired. That's a different story. This particular time frame, every single year, sometimes around end of January and beginning of February, on February months, we're going through the months of the wood qi, or it's a month of the tiger, the first moon. And the true correlation to the wood qi energy, if you think this is a character moon, is about the seed. It's an energy that is sprouting, it's rooting, it's deepening its roots in the first part as it revolves, and only then turns around and brings a sprout upwards. When I correlate to the timing, when I think about the time frame, April, that is when we're sprouting, but we're not celebrating harvest. Just remember that. Right now, it's February. We are still under the ground. We still are in a dream state. We dream during the day, we dream during the night, and all that is revealing and allowing us to think and be prepared for upcoming April. So that will be a natural flow, natural kind of pattern of energy. So this is a time when you can change your mind. This is okay when you're not staying committed exactly to what something that transpires. So be aware, a little bit, be at ease, envision or embody not rigidness, but at the same time, really be that spring flower, be that promise. I don't know how many of you watched Winter Olympics opening ceremony. It was such a surprise to me. The February 4th in Taoism, in a Taoist practice, that was the first day of the Spring Begins first chi node. And as you know, there are 24 chi nodes when I always refer to lucky days, or when I'm looking at the Tongshu calendar, I also kind of talking about those seasonal chi nodes. So how interesting, in a Beijing Olympics, I know this is a 24th Olympics, then they used 24 chi node significance, which is deeply correlates to Taoism, and correlated and started the show as awakening and walking you through all 24 chi nodes that are like legit, that I usually identify as the winter solstice and summer solstice and equinoxes, etc. So to me it was very interesting, as well as the image when they started like awakening. These are like kind of sprouting and seeds and in this blue water, almost like the blue large water. For me, that was representing the young water tiger that has come with the naivete in one hand, innocence to it, like freshness to it, fully supported with the young water, and that's what almost like a lake undermining to it. Okay, that's from my perspective. When we talk about sequence of time, probably this year was one of those years when, especially transitioning from the year of the yin metal ox, nobody really strongly were talking about, like as soon as the January 1st hits, and that's the big pivot and new year and new resolutions. I don't know about you, but I have noticed that a resolution or change, inviting the change, was a little bit of suppression. And I was wondering, like, why is that? It's actually very appropriate. I always remind the chi, when we're looking at the chi profile or chi movement, we have to go back. 2020 young metal rat was so significant, a pivot of during the epidemics. And I said, couldn't be a better year for us to face the survival or be a part of such transition. When we have to purge, when we have to reset, when we have to kind of revisit what are the relationships with the family, what is our aims and goals, how does the life flows for us. Just remember how demanding was the workforce, and how exhausted most of us were, and how kind of almost like giving the life for something that was just either maybe, getting the more material goods, rather than cultivating something that is meaningful as family, as children, as your intention, as your meaning of life. So I think the year of a rat itself was definitely allowed us to survive, allowed us to focus, allowed us to diligently analyze where we are as a human beings, as individuals, as a nation, as a culture, etc., and make the pivot, make the changes, release things that doesn't serve us. And then the yin metal ox was about, after the purging, after the cleaning, after resetting, after the hopes that it's going to be, over, you carry the certain patterns and establishing a new routine, like, the schools, partially Zoom, partially live, or our meetings. I don't have to go to office. I can serve clients from distance. The model of adjusting. But there was a significance for us to identify what those going to be, the new patterns, what is going to be important pillars, how to create a foundation for the new year. So then 2022 has just entered on February 1st. That was the year of a young water tiger based on the lunar calendar started. And what we're noticing is that as a tiger has the stripes, everybody anticipating a lot of changes because it's a big water. But again, do we really have to think about the big water or young chi as like young water chi in comparison to the big ocean or tsunami? Or can we resonate better when we start thinking about the Lake Baikal? I hope the Lake Baikal, the depth of the lake, it resonates way better with ancestral energy that we are utilizing from the emotionally connecting, understanding what is our really goal in our life. And that's what the ox brought or established for most of us. So when we carry on, ox are very reluctant and stubborn to any change. So this allows us as well to transition, that we see this transition from year of an ox to year of a tiger. I said, slow down, because ox does not recognize the change is here. It's just that doesn't have to be so rigid. One another element for tiger year is, I love to learn, why the auspice of the tiger, especially based on its stripes, as you know, that's very unique to each tiger, how the coat is striped. That's their kind of signature piece. And specifically, what tigers would be most auspicious when they would have on their forehead, would have the lines, like expression in calligraphy, expressing the king or emperor. So that's a little thing. How many of you watched the Lion King? And as you remember, the very beginning, when Shaman, the monkey, was marking the little cub with the character or king right on his forehead is kind of gives me the notion to compare to that. It's significant. So when we talk about astrology, obviously most of us always correlate things to birth year. Those who practice with me, those who have consulted with me, you know how important, how I emphasize the importance of your birth hour. So if you are born any of these 2-hour increments, because we're kind of tapping into the smaller cycles of time, patterns of time, and also larger patterns of time, we can express a month within, you know, there's certain months, certain years continuously reappearing as the 12 animal signs, as the 5 elements and the yin and yang. So when you do reach age 60, there's a kind of the humorously we say, you're finally becoming human because you have lived every single possible combination between 12 animals multiplied by 5 elements and the yin and yang character. Before I go further, I wanna say thank you to my teacher Ming. This is from his pilgrimage in 2012. He did pass in 2015, but one of the altar areas he always had was the Z-Way. This is the purple emperor or purple star. So the astrology piece that I practice or utilize or integrate into my Feng Shui practice when I do the analysis comes from this system, the Z-Way Doshu system. And Z-Way is correlates to purple emperor. Significance of the tiger is always in the mythology of the Feng Shui is always been on the side of the west. So this is kind of the looking from the sky. Sky looks up, or like basically if I would lift my head up and then the turtle is on the back in the north, the firebird or phoenix is in the front, the dragon is on the east, and the tiger would be on the west side. So these are just the metaphors that we correlate things to. But in the Taoism itself, there's a lot of different correlated stories of the bringing the spirit and power and to the arts. So typical chart. So this is one of example charts. When I create a chart, you'll know your year and a month is always relates to external capacity, how you allow yourself to be perceived to the outside world. That's why I always ask you to, your capacity is not just based on your birth year, but it's also matters of like connection to influence on the month. Months typically is about your community, your early stage in life, your family, your traditions. That's when you've been exposed to. You know, if you're born in a, let's say, Indian family, you're going to be more probably the culinary arts of the Indian food or Italian, or the language or some rituals. So you're going to be stronger influenced by external qualities of things. But then when your ego, when your self establishes, you starting making decisions and you sometimes start seeing it. Why am I different? I can be in the same class, you know, same graduation group with all my classmates, but somehow even we are born in the same year, but some of you might like to sit in the front. Some of you might like to sit in the back. Some of you are like very intrigued and always are up front and kind of type A people. Some of the that is your inner self, internal qualities that are expressed through your hour and day. And ultimately, older we grow, we start connecting to our, you know, to our inner self. And we start more understanding that we don't need to change ourselves. We just have to accept ourselves. And I think that Z-Way Doshu astrology, the practice that I do, helps with that, helps to reveal that. This is one of the examples that I'm referring about the tiger king. And so this is where you see correlating things to a tiger and in its stripes, right in the forehead. This would have been an extremely kind of powerful and potent if you would see in a nature or if you would have a tiger, you know, kind of, it's a symbol of power. That's all. And you're empowering that. Okay. Mind is very powerful. Well, Happy New Year. So the based on a lunar calendar, year began on February 1st of 2022, and it's going to be last in January 21st to 2023. So based on the cycle of moons, but the based on the Feng Shui, when we use a solar cycle, typically it ends on February 3rd, 4th, and the new cycle starts, solar cycle starts at 4th. So for Feng Shui, when I do the calculations of directions, I always use a solar calendar. So what is the energy that is available to us this year? It's brave, competitive, confident, persuasive, honest, all those qualities. To either you're born any or hour of your birth, these qualities itself are universally available. During the year, we also know that there are trinities of your tigers in trinity with the horse chi and the dog chi, and also with the boar or pig, because there's a relationship as a secret friends. If those who don't know, this is a cycle of like, this is opposition, like monkeys and tigers are in opposite, but doesn't mean it's bad. It's actually, especially, I'm opposite. I'm a tiger monkey combination myself based on the hour and the year. But what's unique about it is that this lifetime gives me the way more projecting being more in progress to develop faster, because I have, as soon as I'm embodying and understanding my, let's say, my characters based on a year, birth year, or understanding the characters based on my hour, I can start pivoting. Where do I, like right now, I'm presenting, right? I'm acting like a tiger. I'm a teaching, I'm individual, I'm a self-proprietor, I'm my own boss. But at the same time, as a monkey, I could be also very versatile and adaptable and funny. And so it depends, where do I choose? Or where do I say when is appropriate to be a tiger and when is appropriate to be a monkey? So if you were, let's say, last year, we had a year of ox. So diametrics was for the sheep or goat. So that was like, how do you appropriately, did the sheep pretend to be an ox? If you did, you probably exhausted yourself. Or when we talk about energy of the horse and the rat, horses are very industrious, rats are very particular and like nitty and have a sense of the order and reset, etc. So there is different combinations, obviously, but just remember, the secret friendships, the secret relationships are between rat, ox, boar, tiger, dog, and rabbit, rooster, dragon, monkey, snake, and the sheep and horse. So this is always very supportive. We talk about the Feng Shui, just in case, if you're, for example, if your door is somewhere west, southwest, or in the portent of the monkey, entering the year of a tiger, what you want to do, probably want to entice and have anything that like a boar or pig related items to be in that nearby that door, because what the idea is, you introducing your tiger's best friend or secret friend nearby the monkeys, or before the energy kind of attacks, not exactly attacks, but gets concise with the monkey. So these are just little tricks that we can use. So I'm going to give a little bit of run through each animal, what is the year is about, but in general, what's important this year is for rats especially, you being on a stage of ruling and doing things and resetting and surviving and keeping the community together already from 2020, and very supportive to the year of ox 2021. So having a little retreat, or being on somebody needs to be muted. Can somebody mute? If you see yourself unmuted, can you mute it? So there's sound. Thank you. So So if you are born on the year of a rat or hour of rat or day masters of rat, you already by nature, you're analytical, methodical. And so this particular year in the energy of the tiger is about kind of staying under the radar. And it's not very hard for you to do, because even in a physical living environment, you're already kind of unseen, unknown. The rats are everywhere, but you might not see them. So you already have your ways to be kind of out of the radar. Avoid fights, robberies, illegal business activities. So this is just the common things that just don't ask for trouble. When you don't make a troubles you. And if there's a little bit more work to do, or there's leftover work, the same way, like we say, there's no rainbows without a little rain. So just avoid any danger, and danger that you can perceive. Rely on your friends. Rats are always good with your community, and especially this year, that could be very, very helpful. Ox, conscientious, traditional. Knowing the ox as I know, you probably say, a new year? What? The reluctance to change is so obvious that oxes never really admit that the year's here, and they kind of we're like a butt-headed, like right now, ox does not want to admit, does not want to change. And I'm inviting you not to change too much, at least until April. You don't have to. Let the year of an ox, let your patterns, let your traditions, let something that you have really spent and invested the time to adjust to all this pivot, to all this new thing that you already created. Let that to serve you. Let that to kind of, ease up your experience, and maybe dream more, maybe do anticipate something that you want to do, want to push forward, but then don't be pushy right now, because as I said, we are planting the seed. We are not really harvesting, and we're not also cheering for it. When we plant the seeds, we still have to cultivate. And the year of ox gave you so many kind of stability, kind of, if you did invest it last year, in the last 24 months, if you invested by resetting and adopting new way of living, not only in your surroundings, but also worldwide, accepting the COVID, all the restrictions, and succeeding it. Now let's continue, because the year of the young water tiger year, so it is about brave, it's about communication, it is about the connections and spirituality. So those are a huge important elements. Tigers itself, they are daring, energetic, they're powerful, competitive, right? So since you are ruling this year itself, you are all eyes on you. And I would not make it like roaring and coming out of the spring and say, there I am, this is my year, now I'm full power forward. Well, this means like almost like hunting for a mice or for a bunny, when you can actually, if you hold back your energy level, you might be able to hunt for gazelle. That will be towards a really good timing, will be towards the end of the year, like October, November, December. But then some of the pivots you can try out, push harder, work harder during the April, May, June. And that could be very, even though if you don't, let's say, if you don't completely succeed during the months, you still have like plenty of time to recover, but to initiate things like to perfection your studies or perfection your skill, that will be applicable not only to tigers, but also to dragons. If you're born on an hour of dragon or a year of a dragon, for horses. So there's a certain things, and especially monkeys as well. So adding that aspect of self-cultivation, not only spiritually, but also practically, is very important. Rabbits, well, I'm preparing you for 2023. So all the bunnies are enjoying the spring. So I'm allowing you to kind of come and be playful, come out and kind of roll around with a cub, with the tiger cub. So it's okay. Because the rabbit chi, the energy is more about your intuition. So this year specifically, same thing for rabbits, for snakes, for goats. Very important is to increase your spiritual practice, or your development of spiritual practice. Truly, that's advisable to all of us, especially the year of the tiger. Dragons, and dragons are always powerful. Whatever, it's, these are the only animals that out of the 12 have a capacity to fly. So somehow even the bird that's chosen, the rooster, for example, that's a flyless, it doesn't fly up the sky. So dragon truly has been always is like this mystical animal that correlates directly to emperor, the ruler, it rules the sky, rules the earth. It's always ambitious, always outgoing. What will be very helpful for if you do have a dragon chi in your chart, if you have either dragon year, you know that the 2024 is upcoming year of the dragon. And your leadership skill this particular year is your ambition and power might be useful if it's at service to others. And developing any skill that you can refinement of the skill, or finding something that you want to kind of expand on or try something new, that comes with the rejuvenation of the wood chi and water in the communication field, for example, on developing. Let's say if you are CEO of the company, just maybe you can take in some presentation classes, or maybe expanding on the opportunities of teaching or learning. It's very useful. Traveling is huge, very, very advisable to dragon chi if you like to travel. That's why I'm going to where I want to go, to Expo 2020. Snakes are mystical, and this is the image of the tiger snake. What I was going to remind about the snake quality, you never have a problem to staying under the radar. You're always very intuitive. So specifically this year, you have using the energy of the water tiger year is for developing your intuition, going on a retreat, adding to your meditations and artistry, and so like your personal journey, solitary journey, anything that's in that matter, like not exhausting yourself, is all good. Like that visionary philosophical. If you're planning to write a book, if you're planning to be on a retreat, something just more like that empowers you, not on a tangible sense of being, but on a non-tangible, it's welcomed. Horses, as remember, in a Trinity aspect, horse, tiger, dog are front runners of this year 2022. Be mindful by your body, respect your body, because we need horses to be strong. So this is more like injury prone rather than infection prone a year. So be mindful, don't overexhaust, don't overdo it, but just do it. And energetic horse is always industrious and clever and strong, and it's always ready at service. So this particular year, like last year, like a year of a rat, that was when the horse was kind of lunching, kind of slowing down just purposely, and not running fast. But what it's doing was showing off to the year of a rat. It's like how beautiful, how strong, how capable it was. If you initiated any business, if you started some plans in 2020 and kind of laying it out in 2021, then believe it or not, the year of a tiger was the ideal year to launch and really forcefully go forward. Again, hold back a little bit. You don't have to push everything right now. But if you are becoming very productive, April, May, June, that's superb. That's definitely should be a very advantageous in any of the industry or in your own practice. Goats, last year, if you survived, and if you did not being too pretentious and didn't kind of ask for being compared or pretending that you are ox or pretending that you can commit to any load of work. Remember, you as a goat, you love beauty, you love the easy going, you love the artistic aspect, you like the space environment, how it feels, how good it feels, how beautiful it feels. That's all about goat. That's great. So your generosity and compromising and supportive element is definitely will be noticeable, but even though it's going to be noticeable in the year of the 2023, that's when the year of the rabbit is going to be. So you're going to be like really on the bounding off the green open field and taking advantage of all the ideas and implementations that you might have. So recommendation for this particular year: hold your horses, kind of hold back a little bit. Just don't overexhaust yourself. If you were exhausted last year, then give your time till April to recover and then start planning strongly. And especially towards the fall, August, September, October, that will be accelerate and be prepared for the year 2023. Monkeys. I know the monkeys are in diametrics, but the more I read, and specifically when I was looking at the Joey Yap's reference materials about there's six lucky stars in a monkey chart this particular year, and all showing, and I'm a monkey. I'm adapted very with ease. I guess I was fully prepared. I used my energy of the ox, so establishing my boundaries and getting my kind of workflow established. Then I used my year of a rat by, cutting and sorting and kind of figuring things out. And I guess that's really allowed me now, during this coming year, this year of a tiger, allow me to profoundly express and go with this fearlessness. I'm fearlessly saying yes. I'm fearlessly saying no. I'm riding the tiger. That energy itself is available to us as a monkeys, but also to each of you. Traveling more. Yes, I'm already committed to travel more. Learning and teaching. Absolutely. I started this year the course to educate and invest myself and continue education myself, as well as the sharing my knowledge with others and inviting others to teach. So expansion, growth, and starting new business or starting new horizons, it's all very, very useful. Opportunity to become famous, example of YouTube. Sure, I still staying humbled, but if you are up for it, go for it. Solving problems, monkeys are always good at solving problems. So managing the stress, solving the problems is going to be the year this year. What's important is your capacity turning any negativity into positive outcome. Also, year of a tiger, commonly known as like, they could be, you make money, you spend them quickly. And sometimes monkey chi is also very spontaneous. Long-term investments are definitely inviting, is the right thing to have, to harness the energy of something tangible. If you think about the legacy leaving behind, or if you think about the long-term turnaround, investing in or attracting good land, this is the year. So if you are a monkey by hour or monkey based on your day master or birth year, please consider this could be a really, really interesting year. Health, accidents, water related. I'm just, that's what what you will find on, if you don't know how to swim, don't swim. Don't go in the water. And be very realistic. This is the time when we don't want to pull the tiger's tail. We don't want to become a tiger's lunch. So if you are a monkey, then be mindful. This is not to be mischievous or to trigger or to joke about it. If you do business seriously. Don't change your mind too often. Stick to it. That would be like, today I'm a Feng Shui practitioner, tomorrow I'm a baker. Well, would you take me seriously? Probably not. But use the consistency of the year of the 2021 to kind of profoundly kind of hold that, I would say, the conquering the land where you're standing. Roosters this year. I mean, roosters by Chi is analytical, critical, intelligent, and in many ways we can compare roosters, also relate to cranes. I love how in Taoism we know that anytime the crane takes off, it kind of takes a soul to heavens. And there's a lot of stories about what cranes are always represent: the lightness, the precision, the gentleness, the longevity, commitment, and the comes in an energy of the tiger that allows to have the power, almost like deadly power. So when you start putting if you do have a rooster chi, and during the year of the tiger, it's great potential. It's great potential, because last year the ox was carrying the roosters on their back, and you were, as a bird, your voice was heard, your presence was heard. So what allows us this year is to continue that recognition, but there's more. If you, especially in a communications industry, especially in a social media, if you're planning to start the clubhouse or podcast, or participating in any of the presentations, or improving your public speaking, great year to do that. It's very advantageous. And in general, we have to look at if you are in the healing arts, starting to be out and about and be finding your voice on more regular basis. This is a great year to begin. So negotiations go well. Any negotiations goes well because you're using your precision and power and determination. The dogs, the loyal dogs, loyalty is one of the things. What dogs missing especially when they are depleted, then they had not enough courage. They always undermine things like, oh, I don't think I can do this. Well, I can think, don't overthink. Yes, you can. Yes, you can do this. Like this image I chose because, the dog feeds the cubs. There's a little puppies too, but there's also like 3 of the tigers are right there, are nursing off. The dogs are always they're always good for nurturing and supportive, and they are great companions in anything that tigers or horses do. They are not as competitive as horses, but they are definitely good supporters. So if you are in sales or marketing, this is an excellent year for you. Be mindful about the prone to accidents this year. It's just like, don't overdo it. Again, watch finances, loss, reputation is this. Watch what you say. Sometimes don't get in a gossipy situation, because you might bark or might say something that it was not in alignment with your community, and you don't want to jeopardize that. So overthinking, or I don't think I can do, this is your weaknesses, especially if you're depleted. If you feel like that, then give yourself a little bit of the time to relax or rejuvenate, and full power to you, because we need your energy, especially towards the fall. And the pigs, lucky pigs. So remember, pigs are the secret friends of the tiger. So, and they're going to be known so, especially because of their quality of the tolerance. They are so capable to tolerate any sign, and they are really, really good with the tiger chi when the tiger changes mind so rapidly. The tiger's way this year, and how to play out with, if you have a pig in your hour, or as a birth hour or birth year, definitely those qualities are a kind of the main connectors in your pool of friends, in your community. We want more pigs to be present this year, to bring that kind of the harmony, because tiger might slam the door and we, might just get emotional about something, but then the pig's response, well, okay, I guess there's no dinner today, or I guess there's another day tomorrow. So they kind of easy going in a sense, and then maybe can turn the situation to more like a down to earth and funny, versus overreacting and over analyzing it. So remember, that's why we have a big hour between between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. It's all turning from the hardworking day into the PJs. So kind of have that easygoing chi quality maintained through the year. Speaking of the feng shui, as a quick reminder, because we have a star 5 in the center, and this is the earth plate, and the star 2 in the southwest. These will be the 2 areas when I would like you to really focus to clear their space, make sure the energy in the center of the home is, or in your business, is flowing well. And then also be mindful what's happening in the southwest. No activity or like a really major construction is recommended in the north or center or the southwest. So be mindful of. So if you're practicing salt cures and you miss the window of on February 4th, you can definitely do it, and I can give you some dates when you can repeat that. That's not a problem. What's most important is your intention. It's how you connect to those directions and how you are almost like resetting your intention, like, speaking to the water as you're pouring over the salt cure, and resetting it as asking, or, believing in and asking to the protection from those directions, because feng shui changes every year. The lucky envelopes, if you're planning the lucky directions, that's in the northeast. So you want to definitely maintain your northeast well organized, have a clear thinking to it. I also offering another option for you. As you know, we are supporting the Little Monks project in Bhutan, and I can say that my teacher Ming has been reborn, and Sanjay Dorsha, that's one of the lamas, they became a father just less than 2 weeks ago. And I believe that was the 2012 when brought Ming on his last journey, and Sanjay was the one who was guiding him through on this journey. And one of the wish when I have a randomly conversations was like, when I want to be, when I come back next lifetime, I want to rather be born as a son to you. And that's what happened. And that's me. So if you're seeking for more information, you can book online. My website is ayalitalito.com. My email is there. My phone number is there. And the 9-star key class with Robert Sachs starts in mid-March. There's information on my website as well, if you're interested. And that's opening up for questions, answers. Thank you for attending. It kind of went fast, 6:06, right? In an hour. Wow. So any questions, any comments? This is the perfect time when I'm opening the opportunities to there might be some specific questions to your animal science. And I did miss some of the slides, but when I want to kind of focus this particular year of a tiger is about what is your spiritual development? What is your spiritual conduct? It strongly talks about your practice. It's not comparing. It's not about comparing you to being a better Buddhist or better Taoist, or you're a better Christian or better this. It's nothing to do with that. Okay, that's when you're inviting the trouble. It truly is your own patterns, your own rituals. If you used to just take your incense stick and burning once a day, like when you wake up in the morning and appreciate your ancestry, or you appreciate your teacher, then do that. That is your practice. And that's what you are accountable for. It's not, you're not doing anyone a favor. You practicing for you. And a tiger is very strict about it. Because the year of a tiger is also allowing us to be ourselves. Another big notion is, please don't walk the tiger in front, but ride the tiger. Allow the tiger to when you take it for a walk in the jungle, that the tiger is actually not by your side, but you are on it. You're holding on to it, and you're like going through fearlessly, going through any woods or any jungle, and that empowering that. So anything that's pretentious, not real, that's not tiger. One of the examples would be, let's say if you go to yoga, do yoga, and you know what, if you're ready for yoga but you don't have a yoga outfit and you're just in your jeans, and you can still do yoga, just do yoga. That would be the tiger's way of saying, I can do anything because I am. Okay, empowering. Do it because you, not because you do it for somebody else, do it for you. Powerful, very powerful sign. Like if there was a phrase, like last night when I was doing the presentation, if there was like, there's a key phrase for the year, then for sure one of the phrases like, be ready. Everybody be ready. The change, it's not, it doesn't have to be good or bad change. We're talking about the quality of chi. Are you ready? Can you adapt quickly? Can you be the water? Can you embody the glass, a shape? Can you take that shape the way the ancestry did, the way the patterns did? Because we went through this. Sorry. I got my tiger here. So, any questions, comments?
That was great, Ailita. So I missed is you usually have some lucky days. Can you throw some lucky days, or I'm just going to make a lucky day and put my salt cure out and my my lucky money. You're muted.
Today is incredible day, by
Today?
the way.
Okay, I can do today. I'm ready today. Today's a good day.
Yeah, it's truly is an unbelievable day today.
Why is it unbelievable?
Well, it's the year of a tiger. It's a month of the tiger. It's a day of a horse, and hour of the rooster as we speak. So it's like there's so much harmony in the day. It's like it's still, we are in the spring and auspicious for so what's unproductive is laziness, arguments, criticism, complaints, funerals, but anything that's related to industry, production, taking office, signing contract, divination, moving, new home, Feng Shui adjustments, outdoors, making case, that they're just amazing. I think I did post it on my Instagram, that the astrology for the day, because of it. Can show it right here. Yeah, it's like has a maximum red dots based on the solar index and lunar mansion. It's all like a super good. Another day this month will be based on the lunar, will be Sunday, the February 13th, Tuesday, February 15th. It's really good day, February 16th. And then after that would be February 22nd, 23rd, Saturday, February 26th, and February 28th. In March, you can point out the March 7th, March 7th, March 13th, March 17th, March 23rd, and 25th. These are truly like juicy, like, if you really need on 31st, March 31st. So for February, March, like those days, I can say you can't go wrong. no matter what sign you are, because there's other days, but like these kind of most, if there's a decision making for on a bigger scale, I would take advantage of those for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other comments, questions?
So you're going to be in LA for 4 days, the 16th through the 20th of this month.
20th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to come down to Orange County or no?
No, I'm gonna be nearby. Yeah, I'm gonna be right at the seminars, but seminars kind of long hours. Let me stop the recording, and then we can continue talking.